Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chats with Charlie. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to be introducing a new program that we're going to be doing on Wednesdays called Hangs with Heather. And today, I am with our outreach director, Heather Burns. And she's going to be giving outreach updates every Wednesday at the same time. Chats with Charlie, Mondays at 1 o'clock. Hangs with Heather will be a new program that we do Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. So Heather, I wanted to let you give our audience before, just to set up this program that we're going to be doing, a general overview of the outreach program. Maybe people don't realize, members of our family and the kids and the parents and the students that come to classes, they some of them may not know how many students we actually serve out in the schools in our outreach program. It's up to and beyond 50,000 students a year. And a lot of people maybe are still unclear that two organizations merged to form Commonwealth Theater Center. Walden Theater, which, in its day was primarily a performing arts organization, but we had an outreach program. And then Blue Apple Players, which was primarily an outreach program, touring shows, and those two merged together. And that's why, under the umbrella of Commonwealth Theater Center, we still have what's known as the Walden Theater Conservatory and Blue Apple Outreach. That's why you see those two logos on the front door when you come in to our building. That's the best way for me to explain that right now. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, Heather, and all of the programming that we provide in a general sense?
Yeah, even to this day, when I go out and the schools are just even out, well, I was going to say out to the grocery store, but actually I'm not going to the grocery store right now. But when I used to go out and about and mentioned that I work for Blue Apple Players or Blue Apple Outreach now, still meet people who saw Blue Apple musicals as a child, my age and older than me, because as you know, Blue Apple Players and Walden Theater Conservatory were both founded in 1976. So there are people my age and older than me and younger than me who all have wonderful memories of Blue Apple musicals. And that's the cornerstone of how Blue Apple was founded, and the outreach programming of Blue Apple were founded was our musicals, our touring musicals. This year, we toured Rumpelstiltskin in the fall, and that reached almost 18,000, actually it might have been 18,000 young people. So we have several tours that we do throughout the year with our professional actors, a fall musical. During the early part of the year, January, February, March, we do A Nation in Crisis, which is about civil rights history. And this year we reached about 1,500 young people with that. And our spring tour that has been waiting in the wings is a Storytime Theater series, which we work on a different genre every year. And this year's genre was Legends, on the trail of Daniel Boone. And so we were scheduled to go to about 35, 36 schools. So we have 8,500 kids still waiting to see that show. And we really want to make it happen for them, however we can figure that out. So touring is one part of Blue Apple Outreach. The other two parts are workshops and residencies. A workshop when we go into a classroom and we just have one visit with a group of kids, delivering material, sharing, acting foundations, or using pretend play to teach school readiness to early childhood. And then there's also residencies where we're spending an extended period of time with young people, maybe visiting, for example, our Resiliency residency. We visit a group of kids once or twice a week for about 10 weeks, so that they're learning all kinds of resiliency skills through the arts and through drama.
That has really been a successful program and a much increasingly requested program for us, has it not?
It has. It started out as the brainchild, as you know, of Hallie Dizdarovich, our associate artistic director, who really took note of the ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and how it can have such a negative health impact on young people, any kind of traumas in their lives, and there are all kinds of resilient habits that are the natural the the natural fix basically for ACEs, a way you can balance out health outcomes by continuing to bring positive influences in your life. So Hallie did a bunch of research on that, and then she built this residency specifically for young people to practice all those resilient habits through the arts.
Yeah. I should point out that all of the terrific theater professionals that work at Commonwealth Theater Center, they do a little bit of both. Is that not right? That we have people that work in the outreach, sometimes many hours during the day. They come back to Payne Street and they teach in the conservatory as well. It takes a special kind of theater professional to be a full-time employee, doesn't it?
It really does, and we tend to call them unicorns because people like Hallie and Meg and Jennifer and Nara. There's so many wonderful instructors, both on our staff and our contract teaching artists as well,
Yes.
who are just unicorns to us. They're magical people who can teach in a conservatory setting where we have a long-standing relationship with young people, or go into a classroom with kids who have never met us before, and maybe they're having a great day, maybe they're having a terrible day, but we're there just for them, just to bring something especially for them. And yeah, they're very special people to be able to move from setting to setting and work in all kinds of locations.
Right, because the way I like to describe it to people is on the Walden Conservatory side, you have pre-professional training for students that are either interested in maybe trying this as a college major and a career, or students that really have, made that their home base for the 7, 8, 9 years of their life. And then the Blue Apple Outreach side is using drama as a tool to help social and academic growth, and to be able to be in both of those worlds, it takes a really skilled crafts person to be able to do that. So we're so blessed with the people that work with us at CTC.
Yes, we are.
Heather, that is some fantastic information. And the Hangs with Heather on Wednesday, the Chats with Charlie is a way for us to stay connected with our immediate family in the conservatory, and to continue planning for the times when we're back together again. Likewise for you, it's going to be to connect with your teachers and people that are part of our outreach family. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, there's with the conservatory, there are students who visit our building every week, and they know, we have a relationship with them that it feels like we're a family, we're a chosen family. And sometimes in outreach, we may be visiting, a child one day and that's it, or for 1 month and that's it, and then they never see us again, perhaps. Uh, so I'm thinking so much about those students that we started programs with, and then we had to stop abruptly. And I want them to know that we're thinking about them. All of our teaching artists, whether staff or contract, we are thinking about all of those students. Just because things had to stop doesn't mean that we've stopped thinking about you. And we want to complete that work, and we're going to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, and one last thing before we go. That Resiliency Program, I've seen some of the letters from some of the locations. It's really, really reaped some incredible results, has it not?
It does, and that's something I'm going to be sharing some different activities and content coming up, and that's something I might be sharing bits and pieces of, because the Resiliency Residency really asks students to look inside themselves And there's a big emotional literacy component, because one of the steps to being a resilient person is understanding emotions, understanding that emotions do not control you, and being able to speak about your emotions. And that's We have both a monologue writing project that we do with that residency, and a mask, an inside and outside of me mask that we do, that's a visual art project. And when children have had the opportunity, I say children, but we've actually done it with very young people and with high schoolers too, no matter what age, that has been a very effective projects, is asking young people to look inside themselves and share. And whether they shared just just going through the process and maybe keeping it to themselves, whether they shared with the entire group, or whether they just shared with a teacher, we just saw some amazing insights. When you ask young people to think about themselves in that way, you're going to learn things about what's going on in their heads and their hearts that you didn't know until you ask them to express themselves.
Absolutely. Well, all right, everybody. We've been talking to the incredible Heather Burns, the outreach director at Commonwealth Theater Center, and reminding you that Hangs with Heather will start this Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Now, next Monday at 1 o'clock on the next Chat with Charlie, we're going to be doing something that we're developing with the Tuesday, Thursday Advanced group. That's going to be really cool on next week's Chat with Charlie. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Bye.